Hello everyone, welcome back to the Chill English channel. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Jake. We're so happy you're here with us today. Thanks for choosing us to improve your lifestyle and English skills.
Today's episode is something many of us probably need.
Honestly, yes.
We're talking about how to stay calm during stressful days.
Not perfectly calm.
No, definitely not perfectly calm.
Just calmer, softer, a little more steady when life feels overwhelming.
Because stressful days happen to everyone.
Work stress, family stress, social stress, too many thoughts, too many notifications.
Sometimes even small things feel heavy when your mind is already tired.
And many English learners know vocabulary for stress.
But they don't always know how to talk naturally about the emotional experience.
Like how stress feels inside your body.
Or the little habits people use to calm themselves down.
That's what we'll explore today, through a real conversation.
Calm English, honest feelings, real-life situations.
And if you're listening while having a stressful day yourself,
we hope this episode feels like a small, peaceful corner for your brain.
That sounded very poetic.
Thank you. I drank tea before recording.
Ah, yes, the wisdom tea.
Exactly.
So, Sophia, let me ask you honestly.
Okay.
When was the last time you felt really stressed?
Honestly, a few days ago.
Recently, then?
Very recently. It wasn't one huge problem. That's the interesting part.
Many stressful days are like that.
Right. Small things slowly piling up.
Like emotional laundry.
That is strangely accurate.
Thank you.
It started in the morning. I woke up already feeling mentally tired.
Before the day even properly began.
Exactly. And then immediately my phone was full of messages.
Dangerous beginning.
Very dangerous.
I've noticed phones can change the emotional temperature of your morning very quickly.
That's such a good way to describe it.
One stressful email and suddenly your whole body feels tense.
Yes, my shoulders got tight almost instantly.
Stress really lives in the body sometimes.
Definitely. I think people imagine stress as only thoughts, but often your body feels it first.
Tight chest, heavy breathing, fast heartbeat.
Exactly. And on stressful days, I also become unusually forgetful.
Oh, same.
I walked into the kitchen 3 separate times and forgot why I went there.
Your brain was overloaded.
Completely overloaded.
That happens to me too, actually. When I'm stressed, my attention becomes very fragile.
Fragile is the perfect word.
Tiny distractions suddenly destroy my focus.
Yes, one notification and your brain disappears for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
And the strange thing is, stress also makes time feel different.
In what way?
Everything feels rushed, but somehow nothing gets finished.
Wow, that's extremely relatable.
The whole day feels fast and chaotic, but at the end, you wonder what you actually completed.
I think stressful days create mental fog,
Yes, that cloudy feeling.
where your brain is technically awake but not clear.
Exactly.
You know what happens to me during stressful days?
What?
I stop breathing properly.
Wait, that's actually true.
Right? My breathing becomes shallow without me noticing.
Mine too. It's like my body quietly switches into survival mode.
That's why calm breathing exercises actually help sometimes.
They really do, even though they sound simple.
I used to think breathing exercises were fake somehow.
Same.
But then one day I realized I had been breathing like a frightened squirrel for 6 hours.
That image is amazing.
Tiny panicked squirrel energy.
Honestly, though, many people live like that every day.
Especially when life becomes too busy.
Too many responsibilities, too much pressure, too much noise.
And sometimes the hardest part is that stress follows you everywhere now.
Yes, because phones and laptops make it difficult to mentally switch off.
Years ago, people could leave work physically and mentally.
But now your stress can sit beside you on the sofa at night.
Unfortunately true.
I think that's why protecting small, peaceful moments has become really important.
Like tiny emotional reset buttons.
Exactly.
What helps you calm down during stressful days now?
Honestly, slowing down physically.
Interesting.
Because when I'm stressed, I start doing everything too fast.
Walking faster, eating faster, thinking faster.
Exactly. So sometimes I intentionally slow my movements down.
That actually sounds very calming.
It helps more than I expected. Even making tea slowly changes something emotionally.
I completely understand that.
Or washing dishes slowly while listening to quiet music.
Small, peaceful actions.
Yes, they remind my brain that not everything is an emergency.
Wow, that sentence feels important.
I think many stressed people secretly live in emergency mode all the time.
Even during normal moments.
Exactly.
I had a moment like that last week, actually.
What happened?
I was sitting at home answering emails, and suddenly I noticed my jaw hurt.
From stress?
Yeah, I had been clenching my jaw for hours without realizing it.
Stress really hides inside the body.
It does, and sometimes your body notices the stress before your mind admits it.
That is very true. So what did you do after noticing?
I stopped working for a few minutes.
Good decision.
I made tea, opened the window, and just sat quietly.
Did it help?
Honestly, yes. Not magically, my problem still existed.
Of course.
But my thoughts became less noisy.
Sometimes that's enough.
Exactly. Calmness doesn't always mean happiness.
Wow. Sometimes calmness simply means your mind finally has space to breathe.
That might be one of my favorite sentences ever said on this channel.
The tea is still working.
Clearly.
But seriously, I think people often wait for life to become perfectly peaceful before allowing themselves to feel calm.
And life rarely becomes perfectly peaceful.
Exactly. So maybe real calmness is learning how to stay grounded even when life feels messy.
Grounded is such a beautiful word.
Yeah, stable, emotionally balanced, connected to yourself.
Like standing firmly while chaos moves around you.
Exactly. But honestly, that's difficult sometimes.
Very difficult. Especially on days when everything seems to go wrong at once.
Oh, yes. Those days deserve their own conversation. You know those days where even tiny problems suddenly feel dramatic?
Oh, yes.
Like spilling coffee somehow feels emotionally personal.
Exactly.
Or when one unexpected email completely changes your mood.
Stress makes the nervous system very sensitive.
That's true. Normally, small things don't bother me much.
But on stressful days, your emotional balance becomes weaker.
Exactly. It's like carrying too many bags already. Then somebody hands you one tiny extra bag.
And suddenly you want to cry in the supermarket.
Honestly, yes.
I think many people secretly experience that.
Definitely, especially adults trying to handle everything calmly all the time.
There's so much pressure to appear emotionally together.
Even when internally your brain is screaming.
Quietly screaming.
Professionally screaming.
Exactly.
I had one of those days recently, actually.
What happened?
Well, the morning already felt stressful.
Bad sign.
Very bad sign. Then, out of nowhere, 3 separate problems appeared within maybe 20 minutes.
Ah, the emotional boss battle.
Yes.
What kind of problems?
One important meeting got moved earlier.
Stressful.
Then my internet suddenly stopped working.
Extremely stressful.
And finally, somebody messaged me asking for something urgent I completely forgot about.
Wow, your nervous system probably left the building.
Honestly, yes. I could literally feel my heart beating faster.
That physical stress reaction feels so powerful sometimes.
It really does. And what's strange is your thoughts also become more negative very quickly.
That's true.
Suddenly, your brain starts saying things like, everything is going wrong.
Even if objectively only 3 things happened.
Exactly.
Stress has a way of making problems feel permanent.
Wow, that's such a good sentence.
Thanks.
Because logically, stressful moments usually pass, but emotionally, they can feel endless while you're inside them.
Exactly. So what helped you calm down eventually?
Honestly, I stopped trying to control everything at once.
That sounds important.
I realized I was mentally fighting 10 imaginary future problems instead of dealing with the real present moment.
Wow, I do that too.
I think many anxious people do.
Your brain starts creating future disasters automatically.
Exactly, and suddenly you're stressed about things that haven't even happened yet.
The imagination becomes very creative.
Extremely creative.
Stressful brains are incredible storytellers.
Unfortunately, yes.
You know what helps me during moments like that?
What?
Making my world smaller temporarily.
Explain that.
Instead of thinking about the entire week, I focus only on the next hour.
Ah, that's really smart.
Because stressful minds often become overwhelmed by everything all at once.
Yes, the brain zooms out too far.
Exactly. So sometimes I ask myself, what do I actually need right now?
Not tomorrow, not next month, just now.
Right.
That feels very grounding, actually.
It is. Sometimes the answer is surprisingly simple.
Like what?
Water, food, fresh air, silence, a short walk.
Honestly, stressed people forget basic human needs very easily.
They really do. I've had stressful days where I suddenly realized it was 4 in the afternoon and I hadn't eaten properly.
Same here. Stress disconnects people from their bodies sometimes.
Exactly. You become trapped inside your thoughts.
And then your body quietly suffers in the background.
That's why walks help me so much now.
Me too. Even short walks completely change my mental state sometimes.
Especially evening walks.
Yes, there's something calming about seeing the world slow down at night.
Lights turning on, quiet streets, cooler air.
It reminds you that life is still moving gently outside your stress bubble.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Apparently, I become philosophical when stressed.
Honestly, stress reveals interesting truths sometimes.
That's true.
It shows us what habits actually help us emotionally.
And which habits secretly make things worse.
Exactly.
Like doom scrolling.
Ah, yes, the classic mistake.
Every stressed person knows this trap.
I feel anxious, so let me consume 30 minutes of more anxiety.
Exactly.
Social media can make stressful days feel even louder mentally.
Especially because everyone online looks productive and successful all the time.
Even though real life is usually much messier.
Definitely.
I think comparison creates a lot of hidden stress now.
Oh, absolutely.
People compare their private struggles to somebody else's highlight reel.
That sentence should honestly be framed on a wall somewhere.
Thank you.
But seriously, comparison drains emotional energy so quickly.
Especially during difficult periods of life.
That's why I've been trying to protect my peace more recently.
I love that phrase.
Me too. Protecting your peace feels softer than fixing your life.
Wow. Yes.
Because sometimes calmness is not about solving every problem immediately.
Sometimes it's about reducing unnecessary emotional noise.
Exactly. You know what else I've noticed?
What?
Stress becomes much worse when I pretend I'm completely fine.
Oh, that's very true.
Holding everything inside takes so much energy.
Especially when you're trying to appear calm for everyone else.
Right. I think emotionally honest conversations are actually very healing sometimes.
Definitely.
Even simple moments like saying, "Honestly, today has been hard."
Those words instantly remove some emotional pressure.
Exactly, because now you're not fighting your feelings and hiding them at the same time.
That's exhausting emotionally.
Very exhausting.
I had a moment like that with a friend recently, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to act completely normal during a stressful week.
Professional smiling?
Exactly. Olympic-level professional smiling.
Very impressive skill.
Thank you.
Emotionally unhealthy, but impressive.
Extremely unhealthy. Eventually, my friend simply asked, "Are you okay?"
Dangerous question sometimes.
Very dangerous. And suddenly, I realized how tired I actually felt.
Wow.
So instead of saying, "I'm fine," I answered, honestly for once.
And?
Honestly, I felt lighter afterward.
Sometimes being understood calms the nervous system more than advice does.
That is such a beautiful sentence.
Because humans are not designed to carry everything alone.
Definitely not.
But of course, stressful days don't always end immediately after one good conversation.
Sadly, no.
Sometimes the stress follows you quietly into the evening, too.
I think evenings can feel very strange after stressful days.
Definitely.
Sometimes your body is finally resting, but your mind still feels busy.
Like your thoughts forgot to clock out from work.
Exactly.
You're sitting on the sofa trying to relax, but mentally you're still replaying conversations from 6 hours ago.
Or imagining future problems that haven't even happened yet.
Stress loves imaginary future problems.
It really does.
I used to think calmness meant having zero stress.
But now?
Now, I think calmness is more about how gently you treat yourself during stressful moments.
Wow, I really like that.
Because stressful days happen to everybody.
Right. We can't completely control life.
But we can slowly learn healthier ways to respond to pressure.
I think one of the biggest changes for me was stopping the constant self-criticism.
Oh, that's important.
You know those stressful days where your inner voice becomes extremely harsh?
Yes, everything becomes, you should be doing better.
Exactly.
You're too slow. You're forgetting things. You're not handling this well.
And honestly, that inner pressure makes stress even heavier.
Definitely. It's like carrying stress and self-judgment at the same time.
Which is emotionally exhausting.
Very exhausting.
So now I try to speak to myself more kindly during difficult days.
What does that look like for you?
Simple things, honestly. Instead of saying, "Why are you so stressed?" I try saying, "Okay, today feels difficult. Let's slow down."
That sounds much softer emotionally.
It really is. And strangely, kindness helps me calm down faster than criticism ever did.
I think many people were taught that being hard on themselves creates discipline.
But often it just creates anxiety.
Exactly.
Another thing that helps me during stressful evenings is reducing noise.
Mental noise?
Mental and physical.
Interesting.
Sometimes I turn off extra lights, put my phone away, and make my environment quieter.
Almost like telling your nervous system, you're safe now.
Yes, that's exactly how it feels.
Our environments affect stress more than people realize.
Definitely. Loud sounds, bright screens, non-stop notifications.
They keep the brain alert constantly.
Which makes real relaxation difficult.
You know what helps me emotionally reset at night sometimes?
What?
Doing one very ordinary thing slowly.
Like what?
Folding clothes, making tea, watering plants, cleaning my desk.
Ah, grounding activities.
Exactly.
There's something calming about simple physical tasks.
Especially because stress often traps us inside our thoughts.
So, physical movement brings us back to the present moment.
Right.
Honestly, I think modern life keeps people mentally up here all day.
In their heads.
Exactly.
Thinking, planning, worrying, comparing.
Which is why calm moments feel so healing.
Even tiny calm moments.
Especially tiny calm moments sometimes.
I had a really peaceful moment last week, actually.
Tell me.
I was having a stressful evening. My brain felt noisy all day.
Mm-hmm.
Then suddenly, the power went out for about 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
At first, I felt annoyed.
Of course.
But then something interesting happened.
What?
Everything became quiet.
No screens?
No notifications, no internet, no buzzing sounds.
Just silence.
Exactly. So I lit a candle and just sat there quietly for a while.
That sounds surprisingly peaceful.
It really was, and I realized how overstimulated my brain normally feels.
Wow.
Modern life is very loud mentally.
That's so true.
We consume information almost every second now.
Which means the nervous system rarely fully rests.
Exactly.
I think many people don't actually need more productivity tips.
They need emotional recovery.
Wow, yes.
More rest, more quiet, more honesty, more breathing space.
Breathing space is such a beautiful phrase.
Yeah, emotional room to exist without pressure.
And honestly, learning English can become stressful too sometimes.
Definitely.
Many learners put huge pressure on themselves.
Wanting perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, perfect fluency.
But stress actually makes speaking harder sometimes.
It does. Nervous minds struggle to communicate clearly.
That's why calm practice matters so much.
Exactly. Gentle learning usually creates stronger confidence over time.
I think that's one reason people enjoy cozy English content.
Because it feels emotionally safe.
Right. You learn better when your nervous system feels relaxed.
Not judged, not rushed, not pressured.
Exactly.
Which actually brings us perfectly to our conversation starters.
Yes, simple, natural openings for talking about stressful days in English.
The first one is, honestly.
Very simple but powerful.
Like, honestly, today felt overwhelming.
Or, honestly, I've been mentally exhausted lately.
Very natural and emotionally real.
Another useful one is, to be fair.
I like this one because it sounds balanced.
Exactly. You're being gentle with yourself.
Like, to be fair, it has been a stressful week.
Or, to be fair, I've been handling a lot recently.
That sounds much kinder than harsh self-criticism.
Definitely.
Next, I think I just needed.
Yes, reflective and calm.
Like, I think I just needed some quiet time.
Or, I think I just needed a break from everything.
Very natural phrase for emotional conversations.
Another great one is little by little.
I love that phrase.
Me too. It feels hopeful without sounding fake.
Like, little by little, I'm learning how to manage stress better.
Or, little by little, things are starting to feel calmer.
Beautiful.
And finally, at the end of the day.
Perfect for final reflections.
Like, at the end of the day, my health matters more than productivity.
Or, at the end of the day, I'm doing my best.
That one feels very comforting, honestly.
It really does.
Before we finish, let's revisit some useful vocabulary from today's episode.
Our word tour.
First, overwhelmed.
Feeling emotionally overloaded by too many things.
I felt overwhelmed after all the messages arrived.
Grounded.
Feeling emotionally stable and connected to yourself.
Walking helps me feel grounded again.
Mental fog.
That unclear, tired feeling where thinking becomes difficult.
Stress creates mental fog for me.
Shallow breathing.
Fast, light breathing often caused by stress.
I noticed I was breathing very shallowly.
Clenching your jaw.
Tightening your jaw muscles from stress without noticing.
I was clenching my jaw all afternoon.
And finally, protect your peace.
Meaning protecting your emotional calm and mental well-being.
I'm learning to protect my peace more carefully.
Honestly, that may be one of the most important lessons in adult life.
Definitely.
Not how to avoid all stress.
But how to stay gentle with yourself during stressful moments.
Exactly.
And remember, calmness is not something you achieve once forever.
It's something you practice little by little.
Especially on difficult days.
We'd love to hear from you now.
Yes, tell us in the comments.
What helps you stay calm during stressful days?
Maybe tea, music, walks, quiet evenings.
Or maybe you're still learning what helps.
That's completely okay too.
Thank you so much for spending this peaceful time with us today.
We hope this episode helped your English.
And maybe your nervous system too.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Sophia.
We'll see you in the next episode of Chill English Channel.
Bye everyone.